This is the day the Lord has made. Yeah, Gov't. This day where God make up for we. This is the day the Lord has made. I'm here, Gov't. This yoga, bound to do so. And but you never be a that democracy has never been given on a platter of gold. Amen. Your freedom will never be given on a platter of gold. If we do not, I mean, it is zone, you know, to be buried. My arm was doing what Thomas young afro, when you're reaching. Gov't was a became with them. I won. A man be born more therapy, but I have got a mark on it. Yes. I don't say. This day, the day we God be making for we. This day we God making for we. This day we God making for we. This is the day the Lord has made. I'm here, Gov't. This yoga, bound to do so. And but you never. This day where God make up for we. This is the day the Lord has made. I'm here, Gov't. This yoga, bound to do so. And but you never be a that democracy has never been given on a platter of gold. Amen. Your freedom will never be given on a platter of gold. If we do not, I mean, it is zone, you know.
Good evening, my fellow Ambazonians. Good evening for all una. Good evening for all our papa them and our mami them. Good evening for all our brothers and our sisters them. For all Ambazonians across the globe, for any place where you did for this world, I be una brother Asu, una the press secretary for the executive office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. That means I be the spokesperson for the office for the leader for our war of independence. All una come fine, for all una come well. Today, I don't can give una a very important breaking news. A very important news. We don't come out for inside La République du Cameroun Colonial government. Today, as always, our goal now for provide the Ambazonian people them with the latest development, with the latest manipulation, with the latest propaganda, with the kind games and the kind conny where La République du Cameroun it always want come up with them every day for dodge the international system. Once again, the Cameroon colonial government it be for it did now for the place where it cook another international manipulation. The Cameroon colonial government it prepare another experiment, and as una coach, and as una press secretary, and as una strategist, we go always go catch this conny. We go always go investigate them. We go always go discover them. And then we must can expose them so that our people, they go know the games, they go know the manipulation, they go know the connive of La République du Cameroun, and therefore we go adjust ourselves for understand what we deal with them. So what did it happen? Oh man, I know someone be very excited. Tell me what did it happen? What did it happen? I tell you what did it happen. Before I want to tell you what did it happen, make we first hear from Mbandam, the former SDF parliamentarian, where time be the way when Ambazonian people they rise up, he stand for front, he speak the truth of the palaver, he speak the truth of the matter, before Cameroon finally also kill it when they not be fit for succeed for UZ. Make we hear what he to be talk. And then we go take una, go inside Cameroon parliament, for tell una what the Cameroon parliament, the one doing, and then for tell una also what the ministry of, I think na culture, what they try for cook them now, what be their new agenda, and what would already predict them for una. Then at the end, I go tell una what the Ambazonian people they go do for make sure say they jam all this conny. Una come well, una they come for the best platform where they offer the best education and the best analysis. Make we start with Mbanda, then we go inside the Cameroon Parliament, SESEF. All right? Make we start with Mbanda.
This is the day the Lord has made. Democracy has never been given on a platter of gold. Your freedom will never be given on a platter of gold. If we do not, I mean, the zone, you know, to be buried. My was you and but almost young afro. My resurrection. Garden was a became with them. I won. A man be born more in therapy, but here I have got a mark. This day, the day we God will make up for we. I talk say they picking the way they grow. That's some now when I don't know me. Because if I will come out my chambers, say I will begin working for outside. Now this thing where I will look at this. Southern Cameroon, they don't be slaves for be a hand. hear me for radio, hear me for television, or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because television, or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because we, the English people, they don't push me for war today. Now they resolve this. And I'm glad. I be stay for house and say, if I hear say one the marks, some soldier pass for corner, I go join one for street. Television. Or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because we, the English people, they don't push me for war today. Now they resolve this. And I'm glad. I be stay for house and say, if I hear say one the marks, some soldier pass for corner, I go join one for street. I don't need people for Yaoundé. We will march go for a Judy. I will be yellow. I march for inside Yaoundé. But say no, we don't be whether I be here people. This time we don't write letter for you. Say me convene dialogue on Southern Cameroun. You know here. I'm glad say the people don't take their power. We are not take on the power into one hand. So we will continue until we see the light of day.
Voilà Donata qui fuit.
The progress we don't make them over the last 4 years because of the defense structure where the Amazonian people, they don't build them for ground for protect the Amazonian people, defend our communities, and defend the sovereignty of Amazonia. La République du Cameroun, the Amazonian people already defeat La République du Cameroun through the strategy we don't lay them out for now and we don't explain them for now many times. Cameroon don't lost that political control. It don't lost the administrative control. The international community is see say Cameroon don't be defeated. And they don't realize I'm say, they say the Cameroon government enough it take back control of that territory. And the basic requirement, the things that the international community expect them from Cameroon as an occupying state. Now saying that they be responsible for guarantee the peace for people them, for guarantee the protection of people them, for guarantee the stability of that land, because now Cameroon be the occupying power. So when the Amazonian people, they don't defeat Cameroon, Cameroon now, it don't lost the ability for carry out this basic responsibility as the occupying power. The vacuum don't be created, we don't explain that for now, we don't need to go there anymore. It don't cause chaos for ground. That part of the world where they call and say the Gulf of Guinea, where Ambazonia did, now the most strategic place for the world, where if it scatter, the entire region for all those countries them, for Central Africa and part of Nigeria, all go collapse, they go into total chaos. The world no want them. The world, it don't talk say, this matter, Cameroon must come for the negotiating table for negotiate, for find a negotiated settlement where it go be acceptable, where it go be just, where it go be equitable. Cameroon, because it no say it presents for Ambazonia, it be illegal. Now the whole basis this, now the whole foundation this of Cameroon they are calling. Cameroon they fear for go for any credible international negotiation where it go be supervised and the agreement it go be implemented. Wetin Cameroon the run am na because it presence for Ambazonia be illegal. Na because Cameroon de for Ambazonia na through the military where it use them occupy Ambazonia. Na because Cameroon and the Ambazonian people they never ever sign an act of union. The Ambazonian parliament where it be exist before the occupation, it not ever sign an act. The Ambazonian parliament, it not be signed anything into law. Say Ambazonia and La République du Cameroun, they don't enter into any form of union. Now the whole this where Cameroon try for Dodger. The Ambazonian parliament, before Cameroon can occupy them, it not be ever shidon. It deliberate and then come up with the agreement where they go enter Waram for create the act of union with Cameroon. It not be ever take place. Cameroon march into Ambazonia, occupy Ambazonia. That's why till today, they did run any international negotiation. They did run for shidon for international table for discuss this matter. Even for their own parliament. When I remember the famous Joseph Weber. He go for La République du Cameroun, their parliament. He talk for them, beg these people, scream, complain. In fact, make a play another video for Joseph Weber. Make it give now an understanding of what would deal with them, of the kind conny, the kind crooked people, the kind thieves who would deal with them. A people who they not like truth, they not like order, they not fit keep basic agreements. I will now understand now why now they didn't for this new place where they did. Now they don't move to a new level of conny. Now they don't move into a new level of manipulation for manipulate the international community once more after we don't defeat them. We saw that video for Mr. Weber there. We'll play another video. Now in this.
That you call yours, people can do what has been done to our children in West Cameroon. I call it West Cameroon because you will never take it out of our mouths again, because that is a territory in which we believe in freedom. To go out on the street and demonstrate is a basic right for us. And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together. If you are telling us, like a state minister stood here last year and told us that what happened in Cameroon is like dropping a few cubes of sugar into a basin of water. Who is the sugar and who is the water? I'm asking the government bench of Cameroon. Who is that you rape our children? My brother's daughter has been raped in Boya. I swear to you, the government of this country, does the president of this country know that the governors and the DOs and all the administrators you have sent to West Cameroon are out there behaving exactly like an army of occupation? Our people have nowhere to go. We have made all the efforts. Our ancestors and our forefathers trusted you to go into a gentleman's agreement that two people who considered themselves brothers could go to live together. If this is what you show us after 55 years, then those who are saying that we should break Cameroon are right. They are correct. The people of West Cameroon cannot be your slaves. The people of West Cameroon are not. You did not conquer them in war. If this is what you are saying that we should live in, I say simply no. It will not work. How do you have an army that's supposed to protect children? Step out there, beat them, and rape some. It is not heard of in any country. This is the 21st century, and anybody who does that and cannot be willing for his government to pay the price, we will exact it on you. Because you are making us believe that we went to the wrong place. What is there to say? I want the world to know and to have it on record that we have made efforts. I have sat with ministers and listened to them talk. The first one was the then Minister of Justice, Amadou Ali, 10 years ago. And I took my time, drove from Kombo to Yaoundé to tell him something is brewing out there. This thing that you people are sending gendarmes to beat people up and say all of these things, there is pain in West Cameroon. And as Minister of Justice, be very careful. What happens there? And he turned around, looked at me, and told me, Mr. Wilbur, it is your people who choose to come here. He is alive. He told me. Last week, I went to see the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Famindongo, and I told him, the problems in Cameroon, the problem we have in West Cameroon, is the problem that will bring down Cameroon. If you do not handle it well, you will not know Cameroon as it is in a few months or in a few years. When people have had pent-up anger and pain, humiliation, for over 50 years, when it bursts out, you will never be able to control it.
All right. All una don't hear from the famous Honorable Weber when he be the warrior of Nso, he take over the colonial parliament for draw the attention of the colonial state and the international system of the injustices, of the human rights crimes, of the atrocities where Paul Biya and the terrorist forces that they commit for Ambazonia. It became the most iconic speech where he woke up, he give the Ambazonian people them the courage, because Weber be stand on top the devil on bearing ground and he tell the fucking devil to shut up. Now the first time that for the history of the Ambazonian people them, we see that level of courage where he stand on top the colonial master, his own living room, his own parlor, and he tell all them to shut up their mouth. He tell them for their face, which they do and for people. When I remember, they move Weber on top their parliament for the front. Weber tell them, say, we must discuss this matter for parliament. They tell Weber, say, for their colonial parliament, they no go ever discuss anything we concern Ambazonia. They suppress the matter. This one at 2017. How many thousands of people, how many children, they don't be killed? How many women, they don't be raped? How many mommy, they don't kill them? How many papa, they don't kill them? How many houses, they don't burn them? Because they consider the Ambazonian people as an occupied people, and therefore they go treat them anyhow they want them. And the Ambazonian people, the matter, the war we probably declare for them, their crimes, they not be sufficient enough for them for talking for their parliament. Now so they be tell we. Now so the colonial president of the parliament, Yege Jibril, now so he tell the world, say they no go ever discuss that matter for their parliament. It can't make a web around. Then the people of SDF, una come out, una also remember, they make another attempt. They take over the parliament for 2018. They saying, oh, una okay with you. They so talk say that matter they no go ever discuss them for their parliament. Una hear, na in this.
How many people Paul Biya go kill? How many people Paul Biya go kill? Oh, you go kill. Oh, you go kill with oh, you go kill with How many people Paul Biya go kill? You can see the UDC is still in the hall. The CPDM has left. The journalists are still there. The UPC is in the hall. The CPDM has left. People. How many people Paul Biya go kill? How many people Paul Biya go kill? Oh, how many people?
Okay, when the ask, I say, but why you did bring all this? Why you did bring all this? Why you did bring all these things them up? Why you did bring them up? The reason why they bring them up, now for give a perspective of the Colony of Cameroun. Because the one can play another Colony once more with the Ambazonian people them, in order for them to continue their occupation. What did it happen now? Now say, the Cameroon colonial government, because of the bill, because of the resolution with the Canadian government, it passed on for the Canadian Parliament. You remember? Because of that powerful resolution with the pass on for the Canadian Parliament. For talk say, they say, they must form an international team of investigators for go for Ambazonia, for go investigate the human rights crimes, the atrocities, all right, the crimes against humanity with the Cameroon army, it don't cause them for Ambazonia, for investigate how many villages they don't burn them, how many people they don't kill them, and then for make sure say they investigate the root causes of the conflict. Now one of those things that we did for the Canadian resolution. Then they talk say Canada and all the friendly nations with Canada, they go rally themselves together for pressure the Biya government for come to a negotiating table. Now the Canadian resolution that they also talk say they go hold all the people that they commit those crimes accountable, and they go impose sanctions for those people then. From that time till now, the world it only move together for start for work on implementation of this Canadian resolution. Paul Biano say the end don't come for ye. They go discover their fraud. They go discover their occupation. They go hold Paul Bia. They go hold Atanganji. They go hold the Colonial Prime Minister. They go hold all Cameroon top generals and their soldiers them. They go hold them accountable, and Paul Bia and the gangs, they go end up in prison. For them for avoid international mediation, for them for avoid international negotiation, where it go be credible, it go be fair, and they go enforce any agreement with the Ambazonian people and Cameroon they reach in terms of negotiated settlement. They know so. Because of that, now they try for dodge the international system. They don't always try for dodge the international system since 2016. Now they want to come up with another game for dodge the international system. Which they want to do? They say, hey, okay, see, for make sure say they not implement that Canadian resolution. For make sure say we not go for the negotiating table. We must stand up and talk say this matter we feel solved by ourselves. So now they talk say, all right, make we go deliberate the matter for Cameroon Parliament. Finally, after 5 years, the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they say they want to take this conflict. They want to go talk for their parliament now. Now be the right time. I tell you now why. Why did he play this Connie? Not only for dodge the resolution of the Canadian resolution, not only for dodge US Senate resolution. Now because they don't be defeated from Amazonia. The real reason we Cameroon the rush for go table this thing for their parliament. Now because of the humiliation with the Ambazonian forces. Now because of the humiliation with our forces, they don't teach Paul Biya a lesson. Now because Ambazonia don't defeat them for the battlefield. So they want to go save their faces. That's why they did rush. And for their parliament. So okay, if they go talk this matter for their parliament, and then they will talk, say, okay, because we don't talk for our parliament, the parliament now, it don't propose this set of solutions that they defeat. So Ambazonia, all this Connie, it come now because we don't take charge of control of territory. All this Connie, they come now because the Ambazonian people, they don't seize their territory back. Now because we don't build defense forces. Because we get a credible leadership where it don't challenge Cameroon on the ground and diplomatically. Now because we don't beat them on the ground, defeat them on the ground, shame them on the ground, humiliate them on the ground, to the point where they don't try all Connie, it don't work. Now there is nowhere else to go. They propose the Commission of Bilingualism. They say it's been a language problem. It failed. They come out, they say they want to do a disarmament program. They create a disarmament commission. That one so failed. They come out, they say that the Grand National Dialogue. That one so failed. Because until you acknowledge the cause of a problem, if you provide an adequate solution, Cameroon, their proposed solution, they be insufficient. They not even reach up to 1/10. Then they come and say, oh, na special status. That one so fail. every step of the way, where they try to manipulate the international system, now the more the Ambazonian people, they compromise them, and Ambazonia, they build capacity and take more control. Now we don't defeat them. Recently, they don't pack out for a lot of places in Ambazonia. They don't pull their bases. They close their small army base, police station them, close small one them. They only go remain now for the big one them. And they only there for urban centers. So we must understand the game. And then we must understand how to deal with these people then. Because unless if you don't understand their game, then you go fall for their game. But if you understand their game, like what we come now for can't help what people them make they understand the game. Make no Ambazonia, it not entertain anything we get for do would say they want go discuss the Cameroun Colonial Parliament. It not get the power, it not get the right for discuss anything we get for do with Ambazonia. Just like their colonial grand dialogue, they discuss now their things for Cameroon. It go na a CPDM rally, na a CPDM platform, and it not be adequate for address the aspiration, the hopes, the dreams of the Ambazonian people. It not be the Cameroon Colonial Parliament. It not be enough. It not get the power. It not get the will. It not get the instrument. It not get the competence and the capabilities for discuss and prescribe and offer solutions where they go live up to the expectations, the wishes, the hopes, and the dreams of the Ambazonian people. They be incompetent. Make a tell you now, the root causes of this war not be now marginalization. The root causes of this war not be a lack of political participation. The root causes of this war not be a lack of development. The root causes of this war not be the fact that the colonial state not be give more powers to councils and to provinces or regions. Not be the root cause is that. The primary root cause of the conflict, now the incomplete decolonization process. The root cause, the central root cause, now the incomplete decolonization process, now the failed process where it led to Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. Any person we want to go sit down for some place for talk about Ambazonia and Cameroon until they address the primary root cause, the failed decolonization process of the Ambazonian territory. Then they never start any work. They never start any talk. Then they never be serious. Any person who want to show signs of seriousness, and a group of people, whether at the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they must get this matter straight. This generation of the Dr. Ayabacho, the generation of General Efan, the generation of Benedict Kwa, the generation of Dr. Julius Nyi, the generation of General Popo, the generation of fighters, commanders, and generals, the generation of the liberators, this generation of the never again generation, it no go tolerate any day, it no go tolerate one more day of Cameroon manipulation for our territory. The game must come to a complete end. Cameroon are the only country after 62 years or 61 years. Now the only country, this one will surprise all now. It go surprise all now. Now in this, now the game this how they want play am. Now the game that they want play am. Wait till they want do am. They don't come out. They talk say because they want address this matter now for their parliament. Muna remember they already proposed a bill where they make them for the first time for their history, for their parliament. They define the peoples of Southern Cameroon and the people of La République du Cameroun as both citizens of Cameroon. Now the first time that they don't do it. And I be one winner saying a part of the game plan that. For the first time, for 2020, the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they put a bill for their parliament for define a citizen of Cameroon as any person where they be born in for the territory of Southern Cameroon and any person where they be born in or a papa and a mommy, they born them for the territory of La République du Cameroun, you be considered a Cameroonian. They don't already pass that bill. Now part of the occupation strategy that for make Ambazonia, for define them. Now the first time in 60 years, they define the Ambazonian people them as citizens of Cameroon. So now get to understand the game. A game they go on. It's not correct. Now they talk say they want to talk this matter for their parliament. So their minister of culture, he don't put together a team of 26 people them. And these people they includes historians, anthropologists, sociologists, linguists, archaeologists, and geographers. What will be their work? What will be their work? They don't put a team of 26 people them together. They say, oh, look, we think say the problem of Cameroon are because, when I hear this one, oh, I beg, Ambazonians, when I hear this one, very interesting set of people. They say the problem for Cameroon. Now the problem say the history of Cameroon will not be right and fine. It all come now. So now the problem now not be the problem of language according to the Commission of Bilingualism. They be talking a language problem now, not be a language problem. They talk say a disarmament problem, not be a disarmament problem. Then they come out. They talk say a problem of special status. They got to give special status to the Ambazonian people. They made it feel special. Made it feel special for Cameroon. Then they talk, okay, now not be the problem that. Now they don't go form a commission to rewrite the history of Cameroon. They don't go form a commission. They don't go form a 26-man commission for rewrite the true history of Cameroon. Now this, when I hear, now this, 26 scholars selected Cameroonian, 26 persons, 26 scholars selected to rewrite a comprehensive history of Cameroon. All right? And their goal is to write the true history as it was supposed to be. We're not here. So now the problem, according to them, the problem say the history of Cameroon will not be right and fine. And that's why problem day. A country, after 60 years, it bring down the people them for say una cash you don't wanna write the true history of the country. See, me, I don't know what are these people that is smoke na banga. I don't know what are these people that is smoke na cocaine. All right? Or I don't know what that they drink. I don't know what that they drink. So according to them, if they just bring these people them together, these book people, they call them book people them. If they bring them together, oh yes, make we bring all the book people them together. Because now that the problem now because as you know, we not be knowing the history. You don't know the history. You get a country, you don't know a true history. Oh no, you know the history, but because you have manipulated history, the history where you manipulate them, the history where France, it help una cook them, una manufacture them for French for France laboratory. The history, it don't fail una. The history to assimilate Ambazonia. The history for turn am. Say Ambazonia na una country. Now because it don't fail for una face. Now because it don't fail. Now because the political experiment for capture the Ambazonian people them, change their identity, change everything about who they be, and make them become Frank Anglais. And then when I go take all those places for Ambazonia, when I go create other Bulu villages around, when I confuse the whole thing, the people that know they are left, they know they are front. By the time when the one who up, when I don't turn things upside down. Now because the experiment, the political experiment, the experiment to assimilate, the experiment to conquer the Ambazonian people. Now because this generation, with our quality of education, our inspiration, our courage, our bravery, we don't chakara all those nonsense. Now because we don't chakara, now because we defeat those plans, we dismantle those plans, we expose those plans, we shame them. Now that they come up now for create a new commission, a commission to rewrite the history, the true history of Cameroun. What a shame! All because Paul Biya, the fear for enter into a credible negotiation. All because Paul Biya want buy time. All because Paul Biya knows the end time don't come. What to be all this one? That they prepare now the future of reconciliation. When I hear me fine, the entire manipulative scheme now for set up the stage of national reconciliation. Because the goal now for can acknowledge, so we'll be very sorry. We'll misinterpret the history. And that's why we propose wrong solutions. We misinterpret the two cultures. That's why we go through the wrong path. Then they go say, we'll be very sorry. Who will be very sorry? So we go down this wrong path. Our eyes are not open. This they don't help me more understand the true history of the country and the distinct heritage. Now they set up this. Now part of the manipulative strategy for prepare the ground for what they call and say their national reconciliation. Because everything else don't fail them. Cameroon don't run out of options because of the defeat. All right? Because of Ambazonian defeat of Cameroun, Cameroon don't run out of options. In fact, I'll put this picture for now here. Because of Ambazonian defeat of Cameroon, because of your strategy, because of your sense, so you get up, because of the bravery of our defense forces for defend the sovereignty, for defend the communities and protect the people, because of the guns and bullets, we will not buy them, put them for ground, because of the powerful defense forces, we will not build them, because of the best leadership where Dr. Abacho don't offer them for the Ambazonian people then, for protect their aspirations, the hopes, the dreams, and for make Ambazonia be powerful, for make Ambazonia be respected, for make Ambazonia be trusted by the international system. Because it tell we, until you put guns and bullets on the ground, no person will take you serious. Because Dr. Ayababi tell we, until we put enough guns, enough bullets, you no go fit lay hands on your freedom. Until we build defense structures on the ground, the leader be tell we, he say power, it be dependent by guns and bullets. If you not put power, you not buy guns, you not put bullets, you not train defense forces under a total command and control structure, you not get any power for this world. When it come for end occupation and for liberate a people, the leader be tell we, that strategy now it don't make Cameroon don't crumble. We don't defeat Cameroon through the block by block and making the territory ungovernable. They don't lose political control. They lost administrative control. Parliamentarians, they don't run. Senators, they don't run. DOs, they don't run. SDOs, they don't run. While soldiers, they battle them. Control territories. Make Ambazonian powerful. Now the world don't see how we don't project ourselves. How we don't take control of the territory. And exert Ambazonian right for live under the sun. That's why they come up with this new manipulation. Stand your ground, Ambazonia. Una put una foot for ground as the leader don't tell we. Not been at the time this will go entertain any nonsense. In fact, any Ambazonian, when I remember, in the last, since 2016, no Ambazonia don't ever vote any person may go representative for the colonial parliament. Make this one be very clear for all man. Since 2016, no elections that will take place on Ambazonia where the Ambazonian people they authorize them. So since 2016, no Ambazonia, it don't vote any man or any woman may go representative for the colonial parliament. So any person will go for Cameroon colonial parliament, whether your name na Ni John Frundi or your name na Honorable Joa. No matter who you be, the Ambazonian people not vote any person for go represent them for a colonial state. So any man or woman where you carry your langa throat, you carry your langa belly, as una don't do them since 1961. For say una want go represent Ambazonia for the colonial state, una di do am, una di go represent na una selves, not be Ambazonia. Now the first thing I want to make me be very clear. Ambazonians not be vote you, No election no be take place in Ambazonia. Where the Ambazonia people they participate. So Ambazonia they don't give any person any legitimacy and any authority for go represent them. The Ambazonia people they fight a war of liberation for end Cameroun occupation of Ambazonia. So now the first thing that I want make all man know. The second thing I want to know, I say, we don't come very far. In the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, since October, with the launching of the stabilization force, with the launching of the Akamatsus, the game on the ground don't change. The game on the international community don't change. The place where the Ambazonian people did diplomatically don't change. We don't get a high place on the international stage. We control the ground and we determine what will happen for ground zero. Our defense power as the leader be prescribe them and describe them. Now our currency to freedom. Because now the power of defense on the ground now go determine the nature of negotiations, if any, and how quickly we knock Cameroun off. That's why when I sabi say Dr. Abancho na person wey he think in advance. If you don't predict say Cameroun will go down this path with this their corny. That's why I tell we make build their Kamatsus. That's why I launch the special forces for help for change the narrative, for help for change the game on the ground. That's leadership. Because it anticipate and predict all these things, because now it draw the strategy. So if you know what is going to happen, right? When I don't see now, things they don't change. When I don't see how much control we get on for ground, and how many of you now don't also notice it since they create the stabilization forces, they launch the stabilization forces, they project the stabilization forces, and they get for work. How many of you now don't notice it? They say the Cameroon massacres, the Cameroon army, police, and their killings of Ambazonia don't drastically reduce. When I don't notice how, since the day when they launched the stabilization forces, since the day when General F and Can commissioned the stabilization forces, since the day when the defense chairman and Dr. Abacho, they come outside, they can commission the stabilization forces and project this power on the ground. Cameroon massacres on Ambazonia, it don't drastically reduce. When I think about how many thousands of lives they don't be saved because of that. When I think about how many villages they don't be protected because of that. And now, some funny thing they happen for Ambazonia. Cameroon army, police, and gendarmes are nowhere to be found. They don't hide. They don't hide. They be fear for fight our forces them. They fear their Kamatsus. Even when a local be a house, the top Cameroon general, when they go for Upper Bayan, capture a whole house. Now the level of authority that we don't exert and for ground. Now the level of power that. That's why Cameroon the shake. Ooh, Cameroon va shake. They never see no nothing. More they come. The second phase of the stabilization force as the leader don't promise we. Now for do what he remain now. If we project the first phase, when I see what he accomplish, when I see what he change for the international system, then when I know now what we need for doing. As Cameroon the plan for more Connie, now the time this will go for double our efforts on that strategy of the stabilization forces. That's why the leader don't tell we, make we expand the stabilization force. As Cameroon want more Connie for divert international attention and dodge international negotiation. Now the time this for we for add more power for ground, not be less. Now the time this for we for sacrifice more. Because we'll be close to victory. We'll be close for knocking Cameroun off. We'll be close for taking the big cities. If we put the second phase of the stabilization force for a very strategic place. Because talks that they go on for make sure say Cameroun enter for table. But now we must determine how we enter for table. Now we must determine what power for table. Because what power will project them on the ground and what power for control on the ground, now I go determine what place for table. And I go determine now we, that Cameroun history, where they talk say they want to write the true history of Cameroun. We Ambazonia, we go help for write the true history of Cameroun through what defeat of Cameroun for Ambazonia. The best way for rewrite Cameroon history, now the defeat of Cameroun for Ambazonia. Now the best response that we'll give Pobia. We need for knock them off those places. We need for put the expansion of the stabilization force for very strategic place. So that now the feast start for take those big camp, army camps, gendarme station, police station for the big cities them. Now the game this. Now the sense this. We must prepare ourselves for waiting the camp by building more power. We already saved a lot of lives in the last few months. We don't make Cameroon police and gendarme, they don't fear for the worker for our streets. They don't hide. So I want to thank all Una for how much caring Una get them for the Ambazonian people them for Ground Zero. And for diaspora they talk. The people them for diaspora. Mommy and Papa them for diaspora. Una don't save thousands of Ambazonian lives through Una commitment for fund the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Through Una commitment for fund the stabilization forces. Now Una don't change everything for the Ambazonian people them. Now Una don't change the destiny of the Ambazonian people them. Now Una don't change the future of the Ambazonian people them. And because of that, now Una don't bring the Ambazonian people for a place where they did now just small, a little bit of work will take our country back. Cameroon no say time don't end. May they go write the true history of Cameroon. But that one will include Ambazonia. As for Ambazonian people then, we don't make the best choice, follow the best strategy, take the best actions, and we don't redefine and reshape the destiny of the Ambazonian people then. Great things the day ahead for we. We just need for sacrifice a little bit more. But I know say, with waiting when I don't accomplish them on behalf of the Ambazonian people then, over the last few months, if we make a little bit of sacrifice, every Ambazonian, where it believe for Ground Zero, it believe for we for knock Cameroon off finally, for shame them and for get them out, then the leader the appeal, he call on all man. Next Saturday, we go be na the 24th of April. It go be na a global fundraising for the expansion of the stabilization forces. Now an event for we for move the, for write this last chapter for a war of liberation. Forgive our people them. Forgive our leader. Forgive the Ambazonian people them. The best opportunity for enter into a negotiation for make Cameroon sign his surrender. For make Cameroon sign his surrender. And for Ambazonian people them for take their certificate of sovereignty. Now they work this way, remain. So you know over plenty. As you don't promise them, would you reach out for every person? One more week. If you never get a letter of invitation, it will come this weekend. For every person, make sure you prepare yourself. For make sure say we write Cameroun their obituary for Ambazonia. I want to thank all una plenty for this time. Una don't take them for join we. I want to thank una plenty for una consistent support. All Ambazonian families them, all business people them. Una time don't come. We'll call again. We'll reach out for una want more. For make go an extra mile for fund the stabilization for the expansion of the stabilization forces. For right Cameroun in your obituary for Ambazonia. They already finish. Make we finally finish them and teach them what this generation be about. And teach them what this generation be about. No person, if you sell Ambazonia. No colonial authority, if you change, make we be what you will not be. We be Ambazonia. We deserve the right to freedom. While people they deserve the right to dignity. While people they deserve the right to hope. While people they deserve the right to a good country. While people they deserve the right to happiness. While people they deserve the right for prosper. While people they deserve the right for live a good life. Now the thing is we owe for our people them. We owe our picking them a decent society. We owe our mommy them a proper environment where they feel live there and feel happy. We owe our people them a good country. And this generation, it don't rise up for make sure say we end Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. And we finally give the Ambazonian people them the chance, the opportunity for once more come together and define the kind country, the kind structure, the kind government where we go build, where it go reflect who we be as a people. Now the generation this. No country, whether in America, whether in Germany, whether in France, whether na United Nations, whether na African Union, they no go ever define the Ambazonian people their future for them. No man no go ever decide who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be. That decision, now only the Ambazonian people go make that decision. I think una plenty say una don't listen, una don't participate. We'll see una next week Saturday. Oh, before I go, I want to thank my colleagues them for ACN TV. I don't overuse plenty time for the program where it's supposed to follow this one. I don't overuse plenty time. So for our brother Comrade Horace and Comrade PK, I be very sorry say I use a little bit of una time and I thank una for una generosity. So my fellow Ambazonians, una stay tuned for ACN. A good program become right immediately after I sign off. All right. As always, my phone number that for front. Una contact me for make sure say any man get an invitation letter for as a liberator for the fundraising way they come up. Contact me if you get donation we want make them in advance. Any donations we will receive them, we will send you a receipt and a thank you letter. All right. So a lot of people them their receipts they don't mail out some for the last fundraising. Some of the receipts they never be sent out, but we know say we must always make sure say all man get a receipt. Any dollar we donate from Ambazonian Governing Council, you get your receipt and you get your thank you letter. All right. So we'll make sure say we'll continue for work as fast as we can. For make sure say we live up to the speed and the responsibility of the work we day ahead of we for all we. All right. May I not fit go. One not tell what picking and say we really love una plenty. For all Ambazonian picking them, we love una plenty. The future will be build them, na for una. For all wa mami and wa papa them, I want to tell una say, una believe, una trust, una be assured. Say what you don't start them, forgive una a free homeland. Una go get them. Una picking them and una grand picking them, they go deliver a free homeland for all una. As for Cameroun, una end, una time for Ambazonia, it don't end. The new generation don't rise for take back control of our territory and for give our people them which they deserve. For all our soldiers them, our generals them, accord on a cafe, this victory, now I don't give the Ambazonian people them. The Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces will now be the Supreme General who will lead the war for Ground Zero. And now he represent the political, the hopes, the aspirations of the Ambazonian people, them General Effa. You and Lieutenant General Popo and all our generals and commanders will cafe day up. Grandpa Devil, Pa Awo, ya cafe day up. We thank una plenty for the work where una do am. For make sure say una give Ambazonian people them a free homeland. For the work where una do am. For make sure say una liberate the territory, una protect our people them, and una defend the sovereignty. We thank una plenty for all our forces them and all other forces them across the 13 states. Any man and woman we don't woke up for defend the land. We thank you plenty for all our leaders and for outside, for all our sister forces and sisters organizations, for all Ambazonia, they will be patriotic. The Governing Council of Ambazonia, now the leading movement, where they lead the war of Ambazonia independence. At this phase of our war of liberation, there is only one leader who represent the Ambazonian people them in terms of the liberation. Now Dr. Ayabacho, now he be the leader who they lead the Ambazonian people them for the liberation. Now he lead the biggest force on the ground. Now he give the Ambazonian people them the strategy, the roadmap, and they provide more than 80% of all the guns that they do for ground through the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Now they lead the Ambazonian people them diplomatically, and therefore the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it be for a place for form alliances, form relationships, for protect Ambazonian interest and Ambazonian aspiration. All right? So shake no day. Una stay fine. May God bless all una. We love una. We'll talk tomorrow. Oh, I think that tomorrow or on a Sunday. I think that tomorrow. Yes. One of the I think might just leave. I'm so back before I can't confuse myself. When I get a good night. When I get a good night.